Good morning, guys. It is 7 minutes past 8 on Thursday, the 18th of January 2024. This represents year one, week 41 into what will probably be an 8 year financial independence experiment. Today is a day of industrial action, massive industrial action across Northern Ireland's public services. And as things stand, there is currently no functioning local assembly in Northern Ireland. Many public sector workers find themselves underpaid in comparison with their peers doing the same job in other parts of the UK. And despite the fact that the DUP always maintained that there ought to be pay parity across public services, this situation has persisted to the extent that now we find that people in England and Wales are already back at the negotiating table looking for further improvements to their pay and conditions, when in Northern Ireland we have still not received the increases that would bring us in line with where they're currently at in the rest of the UK. It's a bit of an obscene situation, but there we go. In terms of the market itself, currently the market is open. It is down about 1% for the day, down roughly 1/5% for the week, and apart from that, everything else looks like normal market activity, up just under 15% for the year. Or compared to this time last year, as I like to say, because these figures do reflect exactly 6 months ago and exactly a year ago. So just looking at the candlesticks there, if I remember rightly, the last broadcast, which was 5 days ago, we had a couple of very sort of very small amplitude, if I can use that expression, red candles at the end here. So it looks actually as if that second one has converted into a blue candle. But the look of things, the price has been slightly higher than what it is now at some point over the last 5 days. And on the whole, things look pretty good. Current portfolio value 12,308, and current return 10.25%. Let's have a look at the notifications. So this is just the usual biggest stocks before earnings: Taiwan Semiconductor, PPG Industries, Fastenal, KeyCorp, M&T Bank. Honestly, apart from Taiwan Semiconductor, I don't think I've heard of any of those. Next thing, Rivian stalls, down 7.5% after Deutsche Bank downgrade. I don't know what that is. Charles Schwab down 6% after posting an annual income decline. Don't know what that is either. Save, which appears to be a abbreviation, Save Freefall Spirit Airlines. I'm not sure what part VE plays in Spirit Airlines, but I take it it's part of Save. Down 20% as US judge blocks $3.8 billion merger with JetBlue. That's interesting. I can't remember the last time I actually heard of a merger or an acquisition actually being blocked in a legal process. I know that certainly in the UK in the past, I'm not sure if it's still known by the same name, but in the past there was a body known as the Monopolies and Mergers Commission, which was there to cast a critical eye over proposed commercial unions and to decide whether they should be allowed to go ahead or not. So that judge has presumably been tasked with the same challenge to look at the impact that the commercial the commercial decision or actions would have had on the competition and probably more importantly customers, and to decide whether or not that was going to give them an unfair lever over the market. And I quite frankly have never heard of either of those two airlines until this morning, but just looking at the sum involved there, 3.8 billion, that does suggest to me that they are carriers of a note. Right, another biggest stocks, Interactive Brokers, Pinnacle Financial Partners, Hancock Whitney. Are they not something to do with airlines? I'm not too sure. Fulton Financial. AMD, I'm going to think, but I don't know for sure. Is that the processor people? Soars 8% as Barclays raised price target, citing AI benefits. Yeah, it's got to have something to do with informatics anyway, because if they're talking about AI. So AMD up 8%. Hugo Boss down 11% after missing quarterly earnings estimates. Lind and Sprüngli, I don't know how you say that. Anyway, they're up 4.5% on strong organic sales growth amid price hikes. That sounds very positive the way that's worded, doesn't it? Organic sales growth. So the sales have gone up by themselves without anybody really trying. And that despite price hikes, which you could have reasonably expected, would have depressed sales to a certain extent. With all that said, guys, let's go ahead and invest our weekly £120, and the money, as you know, is theoretical. It is being invested in a hypothetical market, although what we're looking at is actual market data, but this money is theoretical. So we're buying the Vanguard S&P 500 exchange traded fund. I buy £120 weekly, and this is on the Trading 212 platform. Now, despite the fact that a lot of those companies I mentioned I didn't recognize the names for, the top 500 companies in the market in the US make up the S&P 500, the exchange traded fund. And the beauty of that is that it is self-cleansing. As companies perform well, then they add to the fund's value. Any companies that are not performing as well as the best 500 gradually slip down the ranking, I suppose, and eventually will be removed and replaced, in fact, by something that's performing better if they do not keep themselves within the top 500. So from that point of view, the market is it's a very competitive space, and the net effect of that, the result, is that in an average year, the market produces growth of in around about 10% per year or better on average. And it's important to say on average. So we have had a couple of years where the market has not performed as would normally be expected. So that is why in what appears to be a recovery phase, we see figures like 15% as opposed to a more normal 10 or 12%. And it can happen that, if you look back over a 12-month period, you may at times see, particularly where you're looking at a recovery period, you may sometimes see figures as high as 30% for 1 year in the S&P 500. But as I say, those would be recovery years that the market is simply recovering from some kind of a crisis. Okay, so that purchase order has gone through. We've bought just under 1.7 shares, and the purchase price was 70.88. Pardon me. So there you go. Not too long now until we hit the 2-year mark in this investment journey. Currently there is snow on the ground outside, and the suggestion is that a lot of roads will not be gridded because of the industrial action. So we've got a potential double whammy in the health service, in as much as roads not being gridded could cause delays to emergency service response times, and then add to that the fact that ambulance workers as well as other healthcare staff are taking industrial action as well. And quite frankly, the Secretary of State has done very little to try to achieve any kind of outcome for the people in terms of trying to avert this strike action. He appears to me, at least, to be playing fast and loose with people's lives, and I think that's despicable, quite frankly. But anyway, that all said, I am going to a picket line very shortly. I will be well wrapped up, and I will be very careful getting there and back again. So guys, in the meantime, let me wish you a good Thursday. If you're in Northern Ireland, try and stay inside today. Don't be going too far in that weather, and certainly not on untreated roads. Thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you again at some point next week with more. Probably Monday, in fact, just thinking ahead. But we'll see how it goes closer to the time. Cheers for now.